Sylvia Day hated a surprising number of things. For whatever reason, a lot of people seem to think that she was incapable of those sorts of emotions. When she was young, she was too cute, too bubbly for it. Now it was because she was too friendly and too calm. She just wanted to assure people that calm and friendly were not traits that obliterated hatred or fear. If anything, they made it easier to hide it away and for it to fester unresolved in the dark. As such, Sylvia Day, botany and environmental science major, hated forests. She didn't hate trees or any of the animals that lived there, but the ceaseless, maze-like corridors of nature only ever served to remind her of the cold and of helplessness. Sil, you okay? Eric asks from a few feet away. He gave him a somewhat strange smile. Just getting tired of walking in circles is all. Eric snorted. You and me both. On a scale from 1 to 10, how lost do you think we are? She shrugged. 11. Great. Do you think the others are faring any better? Melody and Viz are probably fine. But I'd be surprised if Miss Mercedes hadn't destroyed half the forest by now in frustration. I'm sure she hasn't done anything that extreme, Austin chimed in as they walked. Eric raises a disbelieving eyebrow. We all just watched her one-on-one a manticore and win with her bare hands because she was bored. Austin laughed a little. I think we're all getting a little stir-crazy. A spider crawled up onto Eric's shoulder. We are on a deadline, people, so stop talking and start walking. Sylvis's voice chimed in, floating up from the spider's form. The three fell into companionable silence as they walked a little faster. They were on a mission, after all. Mercedes was sneaking into Briar's End and was going to track down the black market, and the rest of them were going to find the Moradal's sapling grove and hopefully get some answers from them. Well, Sylvia would get some answers from them. Eric and Austin would deal with the gardeners. Sylvia took the lead, vines and reeds parting for them, poisonous plants veering out of the way, growing bigger to block the path behind them. It was when they were probably about halfway to their first camp spot for the night that it happened. Sylvia grew dizzy as fog took her brain. She slogged forward as if in a dream before she realized what was happening. Ugh, Sylvia thought before she collapsed. She hated visions.
It's a magical, mystical time. It's anecdotal adventures.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of City of Mist Kingmakers. I'm your Master of Ceremonies, Ashley, and these are my players.
Hi, Tele. I will be playing Adalaie again.
What, 2 in a row?
Yeah. I'll be playing Adalaie, the Rift of Nemesis.
My name is Sonya. I'll be playing Jasper, the Rift of Anansi.
My name is Juno. I'll be playing Sawyer, the Rift of Libelon.
I'm Simon. I'll be playing Layla Sharp, whose rift is I still cannot pronounce.
Give it a try.
I don't
Lalamia.
Bulimia, that. It's been 2 episodes and I still don't know it yet.
Think llama.
Or lame and Ia. But anyway, the last time on Kingmakers, a trial has begun.
And Durihan just...
Dramatically, right as the recess was getting back, turned off all the lights and I just want you all to get the picture of him running into the room, climbing physically onto the desk. There was no teleportation here. It was all running. And then posing dramatically, timed for the lights to come back on. So standing in the dark, posing until the lights came back on.
Terrible timing.
So, I mean,
great timing on the pose, but
terrible timing overall. Yes. But we come back with his Zerelis looking up at him from the chair, blinking a couple times, going, Uriha, is that you? And he spins on a dime and goes, yes, and that's my chair! Kinda narrows her eyes and is like, get off the desk. He sits on the desk immediately. I mean, you're in the chair, though. And there is murmuring amongst the other Delevs and everyone as Uriha and his Ralas continue to talk and kind of snipe at each other like no one else is there. And they're not in the middle of a trial.
I know that's not fair for them.
They continue.
Alright, let's get she closes as if she was taking notes in.
So like a loud slam of book. Silence falls and Uriha looks over, is like, oh, right. Important business. Anyway, I was eavesdropping on the first half, so you don't need to catch me up. Scooch! The Queen, Queen Lantu, from her spot at the head of the table, sighs. Young Uriha, not only are you back and alive, which we must circle back to after this, because there are some important questions resolved around your disappearance. Oh, of course, I'd be happy to give you a full recounting later. If you would please stop causing unneeded disruption in the courtroom. Oh, that's like my stick, though. Do you want me to leave again? I'll go if you don't need me here.
Oh, this is great.
The Queen sighs and just looks at him. And he kind of leans back a little bit. She continues to look at him. Okay. I'll be quiet. But I'm back. And he does some jazz hands. But the trial must go on. Slight disruption, increasing the recess time a little bit, but not by much. As Lysa and Eldar continue to take their seat. This time, Eldar is followed by a tall man who looks exactly like the man in the defense, sitting by the defense's seat. And he takes a seat by the prosecution side. Starting off, the prosecution would like to call Prince Velan to the stand. And Valon sits, and Eldar walks forward. Prince Velan, when you had come into the possession of the crown, would you like to share with us how exactly you set about hiding it? Valon nods. It is an artifact that I was charged to keep secure until my time of crowning as one of the trials that I appeared to fail in becoming king. But I choose to hide it in a secret room in my study that could only be reached through a certain series of actions. One, finding a key that I had hidden in the room. The other being having blood of the Solero family line. And the third, of course, being its location proper, as it was hidden quite well. Yes, and in case of your passing, you had let more than one person know about how you had hid the crown. Yes, I had told my father, the king, Morsai, first and foremost. I had told Melkrin, my husband, and I had told my brother, Valar. I had told him because he was one of the ones to help me come up with the idea for the puzzle trap and secrecy to begin with, and I wanted his help designing it. I didn't tell anyone else. No one else was involved in the making of the puzzle besides those three and myself. So no one else knew its whereabouts but those three and myself.
Can I roll investigation?
Sure.
Everyone, we should roll so we can tell when they're telling the truth.
The entire time.
Yeah.
I'll let you roll for this one. I'm getting the next witness.
My dice aren't out. Hold up. 2d6. 7.
Adding anything?
Sawyer's stuff.
You still have it?
I will have to scroll up a moment.
Question, is the king dead?
It's hard to read, but...
No.
Okay.
The queen is the one of Solarian blood.
Empathy
She's
is...
the primary monarch.
Empathy is key to... Yeah. Do I need to explain these, or should I just look... Okay.
Nope. You don't need to explain them unless I ask.
Natural wisdom, understanding, and can deal with anything.
Okay, 4 questions. Hard success.
I want to know when... Can I just say I want to know when people are telling the truth, or is that too much?
That's a little too much. You're not a walking lie detector.
I want to know when this king guy is telling the truth.
Sure. So far, he hasn't lied.
Okay. And I want to know when the investigator is telling the truth.
See how Valor reacts.
Who?
Valor, the other prince, the one that's being accused.
Valor. I want to know when Valor's... He hasn't spoken yet, which is why I didn't...
No, get his reaction to the entire, thing.
Yeah. How has he been reacting this whole time? Does he look guilty? Or,
He hasn't taken his eyes off of the floor.
Huh.
That is...
And he hasn't said anything either.
He
right?
isn't under the influence of any magic, is he?
Not that you can tell.
Huh.
That I
know
can
very
tell.
well that Silver Tongue's magic is pretty...
Puppet. I'm gonna save my other ones, so...
Okay. And could you recount for me what happened during the night of thievery from your perspective? Of course. Nothing seemed strange earlier that day, but when I drew later, I had invited my brother over for dinner that night. I was out working for the most part for most of the day, and I came back and found that he was already there. Me and Melkrin arrived at the same time, we in the same place of work, and we left together. So we arrived together at home to find that Valar had already arrived, which my brother is very prompt. So I had found a little strange at the time. Usually he strives to be exactly on time, neither early nor late. But I didn't think much of it at the time. He seemed relaxed, and we talked over dinner. We were talking about the adoption process and how we were going to go about that. It was a good dinner. We talked, we laughed for a little while. About halfway through it, there was a loud sound that came from the back room. Apparently one of the maids had broken something. And I went off to see what it was, leaving Melkrin and Valor alone. During that time, Melkrin apparently went off to the restroom, leaving Valor by himself for a little while. We all came back together in about 10 minutes and we finished dinner. We'd been talking about a book in that time and Valor wanted to see it, so I was tired from hard days at work, so I let him into the study and I went off. There was sounds of shattering. We went downstairs. The front door was flung open. And my head of guard, Athanel, was the one to alert me to the fact that my brother had fled the premises. I feared the worst because I hadn't told my brother exactly where I hid the key. I just told him I had put it in something breakable. And everything that was breakable was broken. And the key was gone. So I went about my business. I called the constable almost immediately. I beseeched my father and my mother to tell them of the news and start the investigation proper. Thank you. Lysel will walk forward. It seems that the second half of the trial is the one where they cross-examine. It doesn't seem like any of the witnesses that were called in the first part are getting cross-examined. It only seems like the ones after the recess are, as Lysa walks forward. Milan, in all your years, have you known your brother to be a thief? No. If anything, I was the one always taking his stuff. But he was like a couple minutes earlier, so I got all his hand-me-downs. And he kind of smiles a bit. And nervously laughs. And Lysa sort of looks at him. And you had no fears that when telling your brother the location of the crown, that anything like this would have happened? Not at the time, no. We'd literally known each other forever, and we had been talking about what both of us would do in the creation of traps or tricks to protect the crown for a while. He's one of the smartest people I know. I wanted him involved. I see.
Passive thing, is he looked up at all?
Valor? No.
Yeah. Even now?
Mm-mm.
Can we check to see if it's alive? Is he or like poke him or something, make sure he's not dead?
He's breathing.
Breathing does not mean alive. Conscious.
His eyes are open. They're fixed on the floor, though.
Oh, I wish I was Jane right now.
You're not!
I'm not!
And all the emotion mind readers are across the country, along with the healers.
Yep.
I would be so easy to tell. I was like, is he feeling guilty?
Hey, I mean, technically, it would be really easy if any of you were allowed to use your powers.
Yeah.
Because then Adalaie could just poke him with the stick of truth and be like, did you steal the crown?
Yes.
And then the trial would be over.
Yeah.
Except it would probably lead into another trial about who did actually steal the crown.
Presuming he didn't, Sonya.
Presuming he didn't.
I hate that I can't ask questions.
I do too! You can ask questions, but it has to be observatory. You should roll an investigation check too, so that if something I miss happens...
Adalaie hates this part of the jury problem.
Yeah, but as a GM, I know that seeing me talk to myself for an hour is not the most entertaining thing in the universe.
Are you kidding? It's so entertaining.
It is entertaining.
You over there
voices
eating
and
your,
everything.
eating your popcorn, so yeah.
What?
Actually,
No, it's not popcorn. It's
it's
tomatoes.
Pringles.
Anyway.
Just eat
I
them.
rolled investigation. Can I try to receive like any sign of living emotions other than just staring down
I mean,
at the floor?
He's not staring blankly at the floor. Like, his face is changing. He's making facial expressions. He's just not meeting anyone's gaze.
Well, can I investigate his facial expressions?
Sure.
I rolled a 6, and then a
The
wealth
power
of
of friendship.
information. A little bit of everything and organized thinking. And then I can do one more, right?
Yep, you need one more.
Calm and understanding.
Okay.
None of which are magic.
4 questions?
What sort of emotions go across his face while his brother talks?
Because Lysa seems to be pressing his Valen about Valor's character right now. Like, sad smiles, pained expressions.
What about when he was talking about like how the crown was kept, the different steps, that it was breakable and everything was broken. Anything that was breakable was broken.
Deep thought, rumination.
Does he look more guilty or more betrayed?
I don't know, does he?
What about is out of the questions, is Mel his husband, is Valen's husband there?
Malkgren? Maybe in the back room. That's where all the witnesses have been coming in and out of.
Oh, so not within eyeshot. That sucks.
He looked shocked. I kind of think it was Malkgren, though.
Because he was one of the people who probably knew more specifically.
He knew about it. There was
Also, he took that break, which is odd.
Yeah, he took the break too, and there was Valor's blood on the glass, which could have been someone cutting him, and he looked shocked,
He
and
looked
he ran
shocked.
away. He ran away, so it could have been someone who had attacked him.
Oh, when earlier, when someone mentioned the glass being broken and his blood being on the glass,
Yeah,
what was his expression then?
Again, sort of narrowed eyes, bit his, like, lip.
angry or nervous?
I don't know, what does that mean?
What did his eyes look like? Were they like angry eyes or like nervous eyes?
It was more that narrowed them, drawed his eyebrows together a bit, bit his lip.
Okay, so
Can't
thinking.
remember it. He can't remember it.
Maybe he can't remember it.
He's not guilty in his own mind.
And finally, Valen is led away, and Valor is brought to the stand.
Okay. I'm gonna keep my investigation. How many
Valen,
questions do I have left?
can you recount to me, what happened that night to you?
Eye detector.
Of course. I didn't have work that day. So I pretty much had a free day to myself. My brother had invited me to dinner to talk about him adopting a child and other stuff. We hadn't seen each other in a while, so more of a gathering than anything. The only reason Alexa didn't come with me was because she had fallen ill. So I went off, joining them. I arrived much earlier than I intended. I ended up accidentally taking one of the famed shortcuts. I just wanted to take the scenic route. It didn't happen that way. So I got there early, and I made conversation with Tortha, the head of household, and I talked with Athenel for a while. I shopped around the district before I went into the home, and stayed and chatted until they got home. It wasn't that long, not grievously early, just bothersomely early for my preferences.
I have a question.
Hmm.
What is his facial expression when he talks about his fiance falling ill?
Impassive.
Huh.
Impassive.
Is he still looking down?
He's looking up, but his eyes are just carefully angled, so he's not making eye contact with Lysa as she's asking questions.
Okay, interesting.
It's almost like he didn't want to be engaged to her.
And then we had dinner. One of the maids dropped something, or there's a sound of shattering glass earlier in the evening. Valen went to go check it out. During this time, Malquin left as well. Go use the restroom. He came back pretty quickly, and we continued to talk. Then Valen came back. I rejoined the conversation. We finished dinner, and Valen explained that it was just a maid had dropped something. And he led me into the study and grabbed a book. I spent some time looking for it because Valen is unholily messy in his library. I grabbed the book. I broke something on the way out. I grabbed the book and bumped into one of the vases, and it shattered, and it cut me on the way out. But I told one of the maids about it before I left. It wouldn't be an inconvenience, and it wasn't that bad of a cut, so I figured I'd deal with it at home.
Someone could have come in after him. But that doesn't match up. He looks shocked. Shocked with...
This session with the telling a maid.
Has he lied yet, Ashley? Because I have the lie detector on him.
It's not magical lie detecting.
The maid.
Yes, it's not.
It doesn't see. He doesn't have any obvious tells except for the fact that he's not meeting anyone's eyes.
But it's above.
I don't like that.
It's above 10 to investigation detecting.
Yeah, and that's your answer.
That's my answer.
There's no way to get a yes or no for this without using a lie detector ability that could give you easy answers.
Adalaie. She's too impartial because she's like, oh, this is justice. We're not gonna poke them because that's illegal and interfering with the process.
Not poke is when it's in legal matters.
Every other time, poke away.
This is the one time you should poke. Do you want an innocent person?
Not do that.
Adalaie, if we work together, we can cover it up. They'll never know you did it.
But Eldar walks forward to do his cross-examination of Valor.
I hear from Mal or whatever his face is. Husband guy. Where was he?
Valor.
Supposedly in the restroom.
Over the course of, say, when did you and your brother start seriously competing for the throne? For your mother's approval? Is that seriously a question? Please answer it. Ever since we could walk, and understand that we were competing for the high seat of the realm. When we were younger, sometimes it got ugly. Didn't when we were older. Didn't help anything. I see. You isolated yourself for quite a bit of time after it was revealed to the world that your brother was PK. Yeah, I was upset about it. But I got over it. He was the better choice. And objectively, I get that.
Wait, what's his expression when he says "I got over it" and he's the better choice?
Extremely bitter.
Okay.
It doesn't feel like he's lying. It just feels like
He's just
Vibes of lying.
bitter.
oof.
Okay. And when you went over to your brother's house, is it true that you had been unaccounted for most of the day before, leading up to? And Alexa was ill and couldn't be near her. I spent most of my day out and about, or locked away in my study. Split sort of 2 ways since I didn't have work. And is it true following that you didn't immediately return home? I was late, and I was bleeding, not badly, but enough to be minorly concerning. So I may have stumbled into a wrong alleyway, and it may have taken me longer to get home than it should. Right. And is it true that you wouldn't submit yourself to a test of Gilenus? No, I didn't want my dreams investigated by a practical stranger. I see. And what is your opinion of the investigation? I think they've obviously made a mistake. And if you were to name another person, who would that be? And he opens his mouth to answer, but it seems that Elder hadn't finished the question, because he continues. Would you blame Melkrin, the loyal husband who has no motive and much more of a solid alibi than you? Your father? Or you? Because you only have 2
Jackson, leading question.
Yeah, that Lysa interrupts as he's doing that, like, looks at him and but he gets it all out before she stops him. Well, do you have another suspect? It's not my place to investigate a crime. No, I suppose not. Thank you. And I'll go sit down. Another recess is called.
Oh my. Oh my. So what we know of Valor's side of the story is that he went into the study, got the book after it took a while because it was messy.
But I'm
Bumped into a vase with the book in his hand, managed to cut himself somehow. Does Valor have any cuts on him? Wait, no, this was a month ago. It's probably long healed.
there was nothing discernible.
Yeah, but you get the feeling the cut was documented when it happened because no one's denying that it was his blood or that he got cut.
Alright. And then he stumbled out after telling a maid that he broke a vase, just one vase. And then he went home immediately. Doesn't seem like a smart thing to do, but okay. And then probably got lost getting back, and that's how he accounts for the missing tie.
The account directly contrasts with one of the witnesses' statements.
Velcro?
The puppeteer's witness statement. Well, no, actually it doesn't. Because it was the sound of glass, him looking shocked, leaving, and that kind of matches his story.
He fled and he didn't turn back. He immediately left, is what the witness said. But
Yeah,
he went to tell a maid.
The witness that said he left was never inside the house. Balcorel.
Yeah. Left. He saw him move past the study window, out of the study, and then saw him leave the door.
No, who is the witness who saw him at the study? Who saw him leave the study?
That was the outside puppeteer,
Because
right?
the study is facing the street.
Right. So he saw him pass the study window, go to the door, open it, leave the study, and then saw him exit the front door. Nothing in between. Yes. Right, Juno? You can also write down the exact time area.
I can't. It doesn't tell me the time while you're recording.
It says at the top. Oh, that's the time of the call. Well,
Yeah.
what happened right before, what happened right after.
I'll just put it in the episode. I'll find it. It's fine.
So, maids involved. There was a sound from the maid beforehand. I don't think the husband did it. I personally think this maid did it. I'm not sure if it's the same maid who had dropped something before and created a distraction, but she seems to be.
But nothing happened over the time where she dropped the vase that we know of.
Yes.
Except immediately after Malcolm excused himself to the restroom.
Went to the restroom, yeah. I bet you 1 crown silver tongue has something to do with it.
Can I go off into a corner away from everyone else?
Sure, it seems like the witnesses and the prosecution are being slowly escorted out of the area. It looks like deliberation is about to begin.
Oh, we can talk to them?
How long had the prince and Malcolm been married?
Melkren and Valen have been married for over a year, I believe I said earlier. I can't remember. It might have been longer than that. I might be getting it confused with Elmalexa.
Why
And-
did
Valor being escorted out? Is Valor being escorted out?
Yeah, it looks like everyone's being escorted out. So deliberation can begin between the jury.
Can
You aren't allowed to
we
talk
go
to
and
witnesses,
talk to
right?
Valor?
No,
Mm-mm.
No, we can't go talk to Valor?
And he's gone.
no. Can Adalaie find a private corner where no one can see her?
You can roll me a
follow
sneak
her?
around.
Okay, I'll do that.
Can I follow her? Because I've got fun magic. Sneak around.
If more than one of us goes, that'll make it.
It's a circular room. There is no such thing as a corner. But
Okay, then never mind.
like just a quiet place that Adalaie is seeking out where she can't be witnessed.
I got a. I got a 5.
Can you add
What's
anything
your
to that?
build for?
You know what? Tactful persuasion? Persuade everyone not to follow me? I can't do my persecution. You know what? Animal shapeshift. Well, turn into a mountain.
That's really obvious.
Yeah.
You
Not if
turning
she suddenly walks
Yeah,
behind me and
never mind.
vanishes.
it,
Can I chameleon myself?
you can make yourself, I'd say, you take a card from Jasper's book. You don't overtly change shape. You make yourself smaller, seem a little more meek.
Damn, Adalaie's not good at sneaking around.
I don't think anyone but Mara in the party party A has anything good for doing sneaking.
Excuse me.
I think Jasper's would be pretty.
Party
big,
A.
Yep.
The AT.
It's authority.
I think I did a pretty good job sneaking
Sure,
around.
that's applicable here. Stand up to authority.
Oh, okay.
You were literally in a seat of law. It could not get more authoritative.
Yeah. That's a soft success. That's a 7 now.
Okay, we'll take that then. We'll take the 7.
Yes.
Because. So I choose 1 because it's complicated. So one of these. Someone unimportant noticed you, but that just made them important, right? You're perceived only by a secondary sense. Someone picks up your scent while you're stalking them. You're seen whispering a message, but the message itself is not heard. Or you must leave behind something important or be discovered. I'll pick once I hear what you're doing with your sneak around.
Oh, no. No.
What are you doing with the sneaker?
I was gonna talk to Kate.
Oh no! Okay, so you like sneak the butterfly and not even to the front, just to your ear. What do you say?
What do you think? Because I'm stumped.
I mean, you want to know what they're feeling?
Yes.
Okay, go down the list. But we're starting with Valor, right? Because he's the accused. There's a complex array of strong dislike. I hesitate to use hatred.
Okay.
Deep betrayal. Lots of anger and indignance and hurt pride.
Understandable.
Shame. Very prominent. Notably, no guilt in there. I mean, all those motions could be combined to approximate something similar to guilt as a feeling, but... they're, like, different.
Yeah, I can understand that part.
Valen, the brother, feels saddened, betrayed, a little bit of anger, kind of that sad sort of reminiscence, like, oh, remember the good old days type feeling. I guess sad nostalgia.
Also, no guilt, though.
What about Eldar?
Prosecutor? Deep-seated exhaustion. Pride. A little bit of, like, adrenaline, excitement. Nerves. Though well repressed.
Are you able to feel the husband?
I'd have to be able to see him. Do you want me to try?
It's a thing. I don't
I
really want to live your life.
I feel like I'm living a dangerous lifestyle now.
This is a very... Most cases, I would say yes. But in this case, I'm hesitant.
I do feel you on that. Maybe if we can catch him after the trial. Might be a little
After
late
the-
then, but this is deliberation. People are in clumping in groups talking about how they're gonna vote. Guilty on all charges, guilty on some charges,
Can I listen in?
not guilty.
Damon would like to listen in.
Sure. It seems like the primary is guilty on leeway of the defense having presented no contrary evidence.
How about Afro?
Okay.
But the prosecution didn't put any evidence either, except for witness testimonies.
There isn't cameras, there isn't DNA evidence, there's no other type of evidence except for witness testimony.
As we well know, witness testimonies are not accurate.
What case?
Yeah.
You would find the most effective pieces of evidence in real litigation as well.
Hey, it's not
Despite
about
not
Afro.
The guard?
Yeah, the guy.
Hurt pride, bit of anger, bit of shame in there.
That's the one thing.
Righteousness, I guess righteous justice.
He's
What
the
about
one.
the
Adalaie is
maid?
the one that does not line up. Because, according to Valor found the maid right after he left. But Afro found the study glass shattered with blood.
But yeah, eventually, Zero will make his way over. What are you guys
What
thinking,
about
to your group, what are you guys thinking of voting? What we've been presented with?
Is this the guy who was talking with us in the beginning?
Even the one that didn't mention that was the ex? Okay.
I think your bias may have slipped through a little bit.
Yeah.
No one is unbiased, and I tried my best not to tell you.
Yeah.
If not anything, so you could go into the trial as unbiased as possible.
I think
Breaking
there's
and
this.
entering seems a little bit not applicable in this situation since he was invited into the study and into the house.
That's what I'm thinking too. I'm thinking that's a bit of a stretch on prosecution's part for charges.
Yeah, I'd agree there. After
I would
all,
more have gone for like the property damage angle with all the expensive
Yeah.
broken
Oh,
ceramics
yeah.
and anything, but I'm not the prosecution.
Afro knew Valen hid the crown in the study.
Valen let him into the study, so I think it can't even consider breaking.
Yeah, Valen let him into the study, which means it can't be breaking and entering because he was legally
It's
allowed.
more of just exiting.
Breaking and
entering.
exiting.
Yeah.
Breaking then exiting.
No, not breaking, but just.
No, they did
Just
break stuff.
exit.
Oh well, yeah, breaking and exiting. No, you're right.
It's breaking then exiting is what should be the official
Breaking
term.
and exiting. That's the crime. Now, I don't know about thievery so much.
I've
I'm
really-
still unconvinced.
If I'm being honest, I'd really like to talk to or see the husband's point of view on this.
Yeah,
Um,
since
we
he
had-
was there.
Oh,
And I
they probably
accounted
didn't
for
print copies for you because they didn't know you were coming. So he reaches over, and it looks like they got a compilation of other evidence to like flip through during recesses that you guys didn't.
Ooh.
Because
Why
you
did we
guys-
not get that?
Because you guys were just invited yesterday, and these are all handwritten. There's no printing press. There's no magical way to make 5 more copies of these. So he'll hand you over. And there's written testimonial of other people, like other people on the street who saw Valor enter and exit, and his positions throughout the day, why they know he got late enter from home. There's statements from Ilmalexia, there's statements from Melkrin on their perspectives of the day. There's a timeline of events. There's a collection and some sketches of physical evidence.
Ooh,
What did
what's
those
the
look
physical
like?
evidence look
Yeah.
like?
The different objects that were broken, the blood.
How was the glass or ceramics shattered around the room? Was it like a blast?
Yeah.
And outwards? Or?
No, it looks like it's a pile of glass on the floor.
Okay,
Oh.
it was sucked up by the maid. Meaning of evidence.
Yeah. Then, just tried to stop, but they were a little late because they had discovered this a bit before Valen had found out that it was gone, so they started to clean up the glass so you could walk in the room. Before there's like a speculation of what it looked like before, it was scattered all across the room, but mostly focused in corners and in one particular spot, like someone was throwing it on the floor to break it.
Okay. So, Tele, I'd probably suggest asking Kate for the emotions of the maid as well.
Yeah. I want to know what maid.
Probably a good idea.
I want to know what maid he told he was leaving. Too.
Yeah, the idea that he told the maid and that wasn't brought up before or afterwards.
And the fact that no maid came up to talk about it.
Yeah, and there is a noticeable absence. Like, they have apparently statements from every person who works in Valen's household. There is no maid that corroborates Valor's testimony of having been.
Well, of course they
by
wouldn't if
Valor
they
before he
ended up
left.
stealing the crown.
Seriously? There's no maid?
Mm-mm.
They
Maybe
all
there's-
have accounted for,
Can you ask Cades if he was lying about telling a
Cades
maid?
is not a lie detector either.
Yeah, but he doesn't feel any confusion or doubt in what he's saying, which makes me feel like it's not amnesia. Or at least, if it was, somebody planted memories in his head.
Aphonel was with a maid. I remember that one. And then they realized that this was a crime scene, so they left the glass piled up, of course. But shouldn't a maid have given testimony along with Aphonel about the glass?
There is written testimony about them cleaning up the glass, but Aphonel is the one who found it first.
is there testimony from the husband?
Yes, there's one from the husband and from Valor's fiance, Alexa.
What is it?
What does the
Read it.
testimony of the husband say?
And the wife.
Melkran's testimony is his view of the day, which mostly matches up with Valen, except for there was the sound of glass shattering during dinner. Valen went to go check it out, and Melkran went to use the bathroom, paused on the way to talk to Tortha, the head of staff, just chit-chatting before coming back. Which, in Tortha's extra written testimony, that's corroborated.
Okay.
What's the one thing that doesn't line
And
up?
Ilmelexa is where they get the information that Valor got home late, and she hadn't seen him the whole day, and he wasn't at home at night. And he didn't get home until very late in the night.
But he said he didn't have a job all day.
But he said he was out or in his study. But of course, being alone all day is not an alibi, and it can't be corroborated.
Especially since his defense person said that he was accounted for the entire time, the entire day.
There is testimonial of people walking around who saw him earlier in the day throughout town, shopping and stuff.
Yes, and afterwards?
There's some people who spotted him later in the night heading in the direction, but he slipped down one of the alleyways and no one in the area saw him.
I see.
Has the crown been found?
No, it's still missing.
Check the maid's.
We're missing information here.
We are.
I don't like it.
If only we had been smart enough to look for it ourselves.
Yeah. I didn't quite realize what I was signing myself up for.
Yeah. Tele, can you please ask Cades about the maid's emotions?
Cades recounts all of their emotions upon asking, but there is no, standout guilt or, there's no emotion for lying.
Right, but what does the maid feel, specifically? The head maid?
Weird.
Nerves, first and foremost, speaking in front of a large crowd of public, very important people. A little shame from, being a part of the household when this theft happens, not being able to bring forward more things. Nothing really of note.
Can Sawyer go talk to Uriha?
Sure.
So what do you think, Agent of Chaos?
I think this whole thing is rushed. Valor could be guilty, there's a hell of a lot of evidence against him. But, like, only taking a month for your investigation?
What's the normal investigation time for something like this serious or like noble?
And if I know, this just doesn't seem long enough.
I have to agree with you there. They don't have enough information on either side that really proves one way or another.
Feels like a dog and pony show bit. Like, focus on finding the thing instead of, like, baselessly accusing a man before you have solid proof.
Yeah.
Out of character, Mary Kate would be so good here.
She would.
Mary Kate seems distracted by something.
That makes me feel like I should be looking for something. I'm gonna try to see what Mary Kate is distracted by.
God.
It just looked like she's deep in thought. Distracted in general.
Okay. Not like, can I look for a guy that, like, fits that description in here?
There's no way. None of the only people in the room are you, the Dalevs, and the Queen.
This is, like, not open air. This is, like,
the Queen.
It was the Queen. Oh my god, the guy who was suspicious trailing, that was the Queen the whole time.
The 80-year-old Queen.
Yes. She was parkouring up the buildings, wearing a disguise, you know. Obviously.
And
How could you
There's
think
going to be a breach of protocol from all sorts. Can Adalaie go to the Queen to talk?
I mean, she's openly discussing with other of the Dalevs their votes and such.
Yeah.
Hello, you must be one of the Kingmakers, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm Miss Adalaie Ponteva.
Well, it is a pleasure to meet you, Madam Ponteva.
How old is Adalaie?
Under different circumstances, Your Majesty.
Yes, this is certainly not anyone's ideal evening, as it were.
You've known your sons since birth.
That I have.
You've known that they have five, as all siblings would.
Oh, do I ever.
Oh, children, yeah?
The amount of guards that got babysitting duty. Specifically to make sure Valor and Valen didn't sneak out to try to do something ridiculous, which was often.
Oh, if only I had guards for my children.
They're quite useful.
Yes.
If anything, though, they just make your children more inventive.
Not a bad thing. Not a good
No.
thing.
It's a very neutral trait in parenting.
Yes. From one mother to another, do you think your sons really would do that?
As the perspective of a mother, no. I don't want to think that Valor would stoop to such a low.
Well, if there gets any consolidation, I think there was a third party.
And do you have a suspect in mind, or?
Me and my associates over there were talking, and we've noticed that there has been a lack of testimony from a certain maid. We don't know who the maid is, but...
If you're talking about the maid present in Valor's testimony, they've gathered testimony from everyone in the house working at the time, even ones who were not working at the time, to try to corroborate his statement, really. and not.
I walk over
One
there,
of them remembered a conversation with Valor. Yeah.
and I'll pop in and be like, has Valor given a description of the maid?
Yes, it matched up with one of the maids working at the household at the time, though she does not recall having such a conversation with him.
Huh.
And
Does she have a alibi for where she was at the time of the possible said conversation?
well, most everyone in the case submitted themselves previously. You would notice there's probably symbols by all the written testimonies that you don't know what they mean. Submitted themselves
Dream on.
to a dream verification, guided meditation by Lenon, the current Tele of Gilanis,
Interesting.
to verify their memories. It's not an exact science, but it does help to cooperate.
Can I look at the specific maid, and that one also got verified by the dream one?
Yep. The only person that seemed to turned it down was Valor.
That's not good for him, is it?
Mm-mm.
I think it'd be in his best interest to do so.
You would think so, yeah. Unless he had some other secret he was hiding.
He hasn't been faithful.
Ooh.
That'd be a nice secret to have.
The charges for cheating in this country.
For
What is the charge of
unfaithfulness in
adultery?
wed.
Well, they're not
Gen-
wed yet.
No. They are
Adultery.
fiancés. Well, it is on the acclaimed, and in this case, if you're speculating that my son cheated on his wife-to-be, she looks very disapproving at
Oh.
you all.
No.
No.
Then it would be incumbent on the person accused on the person wronged to file suit against the accused.
Okay, that makes sense. Or he could have some other secret he's hiding that he didn't want. The only reason I could think of where you wouldn't want to do that.
Or he's too
is
prideful.
the best way to
Would you
prove
say
it,
that
so-
your son is very prideful?
I would say that is a flaw in both of my sons.
Did Valen? Valen.
Valen didn't write a written testimony.
Why? Valen write a written testimony.
Well, he knew he was speaking at trial. First and foremost, he's one of the primary speakers. And then, secondly, my son is quite busy in preparation for his coronation ceremony. Should it ever come, I'm content on making him wait a couple more years. I'm hoping to hit triple digits, just out of pure spite.
Yeah. So was Valen investigated by, what was their name again? The dream person?
Yes, his testimony was verified by Gilanis.
How often does Sawyer use his deal with death abilities? Like,
Kind of in dire situations, usually to be like, oh, someone's dead? Hey, death!
so
Can we reverse that?
So, like, would now be a time maybe Sawyer would
dead.
consider necessary? Well, someone could end up dead.
Right, but no one's dead
Death
yet.
does not
So-
play in our head.
Death is a constant companion lurking in the edges of your vision. If you wish to call him to the forefront to try to negotiate, you can.
That's so weird, just seeing death in the side of your vision.
I don't know, like, would Sawyer as a character consider this a time important enough? Like,
No.
I don't know. It's up to you. You're playing him. I gave up all DM agency of these when I gave them over to you guys.
I mean, he hates people of authority.
And this is, as Ashley said, authority to the max.
You could not get more authority than this. Well, you could, but you'd be hard pressed.
It'd be more, I guess, authority if it was judged during execution or being one person.
If I did this, would it constitute like magic interfering with the trial process?
Yes, this is an innately magical ability.
So it
It's not the
shouldn't.
trial process anymore.
It's not really.
It's a decision.
Would it be illegal for me to do it right now?
I mean, probably, because of the whole, if you're not a Bellinarian citizen, you shouldn't use magic in the city at all.
But then again, we're Kingmakers. Shoot. That sounds too.
I think Sawyer would use magic if he saw someone else using their magic or abilities. So not right now.
People seem to be drawing in their votes. What are you doing? What are you guys voting?
It's just guilty or not guilty, right?
And you have to find him guilty on the different charges.
Can't you? Isn't there like a way you can say like, no, I don't think this is enough evidence to decide either way?
What's the queen's name again?
Land 2.
Queen Lantu. Is it possible for you to order your son to take the dream test, or is that purely
No.
or like suggest it to him? Have you suggested it to him?
Yes.
Okay.
I strong-armed Valen into taking the dream test. He was just as against it, but luckily I could double-team him with Malkrin. But Ilmalexa and Valor are not talking at the moment, so I've not been able to double-team him with his fiancée, which is really the power move.
And they stopped talking when
Yes.
right as this happened.
She got away.
Queen, do you have the power to put the trial on hold until and have a reinvestigation into the matter?
I do
I
not.
feel the investigation has been a little bit rushed, and there could have been more evidence brought forth.
Yeah,
Specifically
I don't.
with the maid.
I don't think there's enough.
I do not have the power to withhold this trial, mostly because it is a member of my family being tried.
If we talk to the other Delevs to convince them, so
I could not withhold the trial. We would not be able to hold a retrial. But I can withhold the voting.
Okay.
I can stall that for a maximum amount of time a day.
For investigations to be wrapped up. I think we should probably do that, you guys.
Then if you see to that as your best course, I'll trust in your wisdom as Kingmakers.
After all, we are an extremely neutral party in this case.
Yes.
And this is our job, kinda.
I am always one to respect the opinions of an unbiased party. I'll allow another day. And she sort of rises to her full height, and almost immediately a hush falls over the room as everyone looks to her. In light of the evidence presented today, it is royal crown opinion that the voting should be stalled at least a day, so we can all have proper time to ruminate on the information learned here. Seem to nod in agreement. It's not unreasonable to request. So they begin to depart or form into more tight-knit groups.
So as jurors, we're not allowed to investigate into this on our own?
I mean, they've presented to you all the information available from the court.
Are we
I
allowed
would say we're
to?
allowed to.
Are we allowed to give up our juror?
I think we can probably stay as jurors if we, or even so if we're not.
on the jury.
Oh, hey!
Do you say that out loud, like you
No. No.
No.
My brain goes there though.
Yeah, well, right now you're still in a public place, so maybe, like, hold back.
Yeah.
Glance at Taze, meet eye contact, and look away.
Hey, where's the lady who's hosting us?
Zithia.
Cynthia, you mentioned these really beautiful, like, mountains out in the middle of nowhere. Could we possibly...
That feels very pointed.
Could we possibly go there to deliberate?
If you wish not to be bothered, yeah, I can lead you somewhere that you're not going to be bugged. But like the mountain, the cliffside outside of the city limits.
Alright.
There's a cool shortcut. Have you used a shortcut yet?
I think
on
on
accident.
accident.
Oh, it's way more cool when you do it on purpose.
Alright.
I do not trust shortcuts. Never will, never have.
Not after being lost from one.
Not after losing.
Zithia will lead you to the cliffside.
Lovely. Thank you, Zithia. Lady Zithia.
Trying to find the proper song here.
Like, what time in the day
This
is
works.
it?
Getting later into the evening.
Alright.
This court took most of the day and started at midday. But you guys are left on this cliff to ruminate as Zithia gives you a map and like draws a line of how you're gonna get back.
Nice.
So... Hey, Kate.
Am I safe?
Yeah.
Oh, thank God. No offense, Adalaie, but your hair is suffocating.
Oh no, I've been told that many times.
Anyway, what's the question?
We got a day, but we're all still on the first thing. So, we're not allowed to investigate, technically. But you aren't a member of the jury.
You want me to go off and do all your work for you? I'm not that bright, okay?
No, how about if we do the investigating ourselves?
But it's illegal, right?
Not necessarily. All the evidence is pointed towards us. We're not
That's
allowed
not
to
well.
know stuff before the cave.
Alright. I got a plan. I got a plan.
I'm
plan.
What is bad?
Me
Fly
and
free,
Jasper
butterfly.
can go.
We can
Uh,
shapeshift,
Yes.
so it's easy.
And I can stall for you or something like that?
That's exactly my plan.
Oh my god.
Like, what are we investigating? What are we going to do?
Oh, we're going to the manor first off.
Oh,
The
yes.
crime scene.
Let's break into Prince's house.
Well, technically, if they have a rodent problem, that won't be a problem.
Or a fly problem.
You guys know that if you present this information, we're gonna have to have a legitimate way to present it.
Oh, no. No, we wouldn't.
No.
If we need them,
And how exactly did you get this information? We just did.
Oh, we
it'll-
found somebody on the street.
we really need
Jasper transfers into a different person.
we need it to be legitimate, you guys.
We
Seriously.
do. We do need it to be legitimate.
Well, what do you want
I
us to
think
do? Say, hey,
we
we're
need to
Kingmakers and
really-
we're the jury. Let's go. How would you like?
Didn't we tell the queen that we are going to investigate? So we're going to investigate
That's
as ourselves.
No,
Are-
that's all.
Ashley, like, I don't know enough about this. Is it legal for us to investigate?
Ashley is rolling dice. I'm pretty sure we're already in danger.
Yeah.
What are you?
Come back
The
and
DM
never-
doesn't roll dice in this game. If I was gonna put you guys in danger, I'd just complicate the
I was rolling
situation or something.
Yes,
Okay,
you roll on decisions. I've seen
I
it.
get back and the first thing here is this legal?
Did I throw this at
well,
them? Let's
wait,
see
okay.
what I say.
so Sawyer's just like, what?
Look through
So
the
are we
rules
gonna get,
we
like,
were given.
those concert badges with VIP, except instead of VIP, it's Kingmaker? Here you get to go backstage to view the evidence. So you want me to stall for you, or are we just
No weapons, no magic in the courtroom.
in the courtroom?
In the
We're not
courtroom,
in
yeah.
the courtroom again. We need to find
No
all of
magic
our
in
stuff.
this.
Not allowed to disrupt, no contact with the preliminary witnesses beforehand.
Afterwards?
That's all the rules we were given. That's
So,
all the rules.
technically-
there's no rules against us investigating afterwards.
We can argue not guilty if it ends up being the rule because they didn't tell us.
Yeah, they didn't tell us. We can claim
So,
ignorance. After all, we're new to this world.
yep. We should go investigate
Yes.
the suspects or the
Close, are you guys paying attention to your surroundings?
Sawyer is paying attention
Sawyer's paying attention because he got that tip up.
because he was pointedly
another
making sure that we were alone.
Alone in a mountain.
Our eye out since Kate is literally out in the open right now.
Do you someone wanna roll me an investigation check to verify that you're alone?
Sure.
Cool.
Oh, question. Can Jasper use his magic to disguise them? You know, the
Manipulate the mist. Yes, you can make yourself look like different people.
I bet we
fool
would
the eye
Yes. Just look like we're normal people having a normal conversation.
on a
And
cliffside.
Juno,
That's fine.
Hey, we're
Juno,
just enjoying the view.
Juno.
Uh-huh.
I got a 6. What did you get?
I got a 7.
Okay, we're going with you.
Okay, I will add.
Guys, does help at all?
Actually, I think we should go with you because my last roll was investigation, so I can't
Okay.
add tags.
Am I also sneaking around? Okay. Let's see. Let's do Angel of Justice. Blissful Presence, and Heavenly Presentation. That brings me to a
9.
9. Let's make it 10 with
Power of friendship. Stand up to authority.
I do not have the power of friendship.
Stand up to authority.
No, because we're not going against authority here.
Oh, right. We're out of the
Adalaie uses the look.
No look.
I'll allow it.
Okay. That's a 10.
10
Yeah.
for question. Actually, no. How does the look apply?
The look is a knowing look, and also a very sternful look, and an observational look, because you have to look
She
at
looks
people's
around.
eyes to see the truth.
Look in a
around.
general sense.
Look at the person. You're gonna feel like, oh, she sees me, I should stop.
No, it's a look in the general sense, but it's always making them feel like they're in the wrong.
Yes, that's the look. The look of this
Okay,
thing.
yeah. 4.
Okay. Do I see anyone?
Not anyone obvious, but just barest of the second. The swoosh of, like, the side of a cloak. Dumping down, like a rock, like down a side of a cliff. Catch the
Oh.
barest. Toward the end of your conversation.
You should run off the cliff and turn into a bird.
Actually,
The
without
music
saying a
stopped
word.
right when she says that.
Without saying
Come on,
a
turn
word,
to a bird.
Adalaie will
Jazz
stand at
music
the edge of
stopped.
the cliff and turn around and fall backwards.
Why would you
Wait,
turn
what?
around and you can't see?
So you can see me, and I can see up.
Why would you look up?
So I can see if anyone's hiding on the cliff.
Oh, that makes.
Oh.
But if they jump down,
I would still be able to see them.
Sawyer would run over and look over the edge.
Adalaie!
Adalaie's now a bird.
Adalaie, what are you doing?
You catch the bit of the cloak going into the side of a cave located on the cliff.
Adalaie's gonna sort of spin herself around and go towards the cave.
As a bird.
Yep, as a bird.
Okay. Alone. Good to
And
know.
Sawyer's gonna try to follow and be like, Jasper, come on,
I'll
go
just
back.
turn into like a nighthawk and pick up Sawyer and the other one and just
Did
slide
Kate
down
stay
lower.
back with them?
Hmm?
Did Kate stay back with them?
Do you want him to follow you?
Preferably, yes, so I'm not
Then-
alone.
Then yeah, sure. Kades is with you.
Okay.
Chilling as a butterfly.
I slide down with them in tow
Everyone gets back together, so
and
Adalaie
stop like right above the cave so they can and then turn back.
Hops
This does not
down.
look like a safe situation. Be careful. And we enter.
Thank you, Jasper.
Was that the
God.
Indiana Jones tune?
A giant boulder is gonna roll towards us. Awesome.
Watch the arrows, they're poisoned.
It's a natural forming cave inside of the cliff.
Just like Indiana
It's
Jones.
thin and it gets thinner, so if you're the size of a normal human person, you have to walk single file. Your shoulders are sort of pressing against it, and it starts to get smaller as it goes in, like shorter. So you'd have to start getting on your hands and knees and army crawling.
Damn.
Snowbird.
Yes, a bird in a cave. Please tell me you turn into a canary.
Juno. Say it out loud.
Come on, deliver the humor and comedy
Say it.
we need.
With the power of malnutrition, I can fit through these caves.
The emphasis made it so much better. I wasn't reading it like that in my head, but like
Oh, we're malnutrition.
10 times better.
Anyways, I hear creepy music. What's going on?
It's just a dark cave, and there's no Matthias around to make it light.
Oh.
So
Or
it gets
Aaron.
With us.
Or Aaron.
pitch black.
Is Aaron just useless to you?
No, he's
Matthias
low
is ambient
too.
light. Aaron has to act to make light. Matthias is
No,
light.
I understand. I
Can Jasper
understand.
make his
Yep.
eyes able to see in the dark?
You can give yourself
Cat
that.
eye.
Cat eyes. I do that.
It's
and
not
try to catch up
perfect.
to the bird
It's
flying
not
through.
perfect, I feel it. Well, I imagine, Adalaie, you have a much faster time going through because you don't have to squeeze because you're being tiny. So, Adalaie, are you speeding ahead? Are you waiting for the rest of them to catch up?
Ahead.
Speed ahead. No.
Okay.
Adalaie is determined.
Cade's
That's a
is
random shadow.
trying to catch up with you, but as a butterfly, he flies a little bit slower, so he's just a tad bit behind you. It keeps getting smaller to the point where it'd be hard for a normal human to fit through.
Mm.
You keep going?
Mm-hmm. You better not be texting me something.
It's a meme.
Don't worry about it. You keep going? You stop?
No, she's still going. Not until she finds it.
Oh my god, you're gonna hit the
Okay.
end of the cave or fall into a trap.
You continue past this really tiny point. And we're gonna pull away from you and stick with the rest of the group.
Oh gosh.
As you guys move forward, it gets to the point where if you go forward, you're gonna have a lot of trouble getting back. Especially people who can't shape-shift into whatever they please.
If only I could
Thank
turn
you.
into a rat too.
I mean, Mary Kate and Layla are here too, so like...
Adalaie has a habit of going off alone. I am going to stay here. Keep watch, make sure nothing leaves the cave. I'm going to turn into a rat. If I do not come back I did say this before I turn into a rat. If I do not come back within the day, hold our funeral. And
Jasper! Oh my god, we're on a time limit here.
You go searching.
Okay, so that leaves Sawyer, Layla, and Mary Kate
Ew, spider.
squeezed into one side of the cave, and Jasper, Adalaie, and Cade's on the other.
What does that mean?
This won't end.
Why am I
terribly.
We
scared?
crawl, is it like big enough where we could crawl pretty quickly?
The GM is playing scary music with big timpanis. Which is
If-
never good.
If you continue, it goes to the point where it'd be hard to crawl back. Right now, it's doable. It's still not fun or easy.
I told you to stay there.
I'm looking at Sawyer's character sheet here. Ooh. Are there like a bunch of rocks and everywhere around here?
It's a cave.
Yeah.
A slim cavern entrance, but it is still a cave.
Is it wider at the top? Or thinner at the top?
Neither, really. It's naturally formed, so it sort of gets bigger around the bottom and gets thinner as it goes on.
Can I like... I wanted to like... Can I control gravity to make the rocks crack so there's more room for us to get through?
We're going to be trapped.
You can!
I'm not gonna do that!
Cracking rocks and
You can roll me a take the risk.
Like, they aren't stalactites and stalagmites, it's just a thin...
Oh my god.
No, it's a very, very thin, very small
You know
cavern.
you have doomed us. The ones in the
No.
cave, you have doomed us.
I'm not doing it! I haven't doomed you! Oh my
Yeah.
god, his powers!
Reminding yourself of them?
Hmm... Hmm...
I would add that it's hard to get a look at the sky from a cave. And I don't think you made note of it before you came down here.
Yeah.
To see if it's a full moon or not.
Guys, we only have a day. We can't leave them behind. But... yeah. Sawyer's gonna go out to the cave and like take a peek up at the sky.
It's cloudy out. Looks like it's about to start raining. In fact, it has started raining. But just started, so it's just a light drizzle right now. It's starting to rain harder.
Can I investigate this cave?
You can roll me an investigation check.
6. I would like... Ah!
There's nothing you can add. Because you did this just before.
Emulated psychic control!
How are you adding simulated psychic control for your investigation of this game?
I am using my psychic abilities to see the inside of the cave.
I mean, yeah.
You know what? Points for creativity. Sure.
Powers long forgotten because I'm using an ability I haven't used in that way before.
I appreciate your justification.
That
No.
doesn't really need one.
Okay. 7 is a soft success. I can go with that.
Okay. I would like, for the audience's sake, the weaknesses are the clues can be fuzzy, part you, part false, that sort of thing. If you're asking a person them, they can ask you back a question on the same terms, or your investigation exposes you to danger.
Do I think there's another entrance/exit to this cave?
You get the feeling that this cave definitely leads somewhere. It doesn't come to an abrupt dead end.
I want to find where that is.
Are you trying to search with your psychic abilities, or are you going to get on your hands and knees and go?
I'm going to try to search with my psychic abilities and go outside to try and find that place.
It doesn't look like it is on the cliff's edge. It doesn't look like it circles back around.
Okay. Forgot we're on a like cliff and I can't actually. Can I control gravity on myself to make myself like float up?
Yes. That is what simulated psychic control and control gravity is meant to do.
Okay.
If you flight.
I can just like fly up and look around for it. Can I do that?
Wait, why didn't Sawyer fly when we were?
Because I didn't realize that was what it was for. And look at the sheet.
And it's much more unreliable than just being able to fly. It requires a lot of thought and energy because you're controlling gravity the exact amount you need to be able to float.
Yeah.
And hover in any given situation.
And not just fly upwards and back down and upwards and back down.
So I'm gonna try to look around on the app. Can I add the control gravity then? Because I'm flying around to try to find this other exit.
It's still an 8.
Yeah. I don't know if I find it, but I'm looking.
As I said, it does not circle back. It does not lead back into the cliffside. I already said that.
Okay. So it just goes deeper. Oh, I look at the other two. I'm like, what do you want to do? We're not gonna just like leave.
What's Layla up to?
Yeah.
Simon.
Yeah. We're in the group that didn't descend into the dark abyss and try to accidentally cause an avalanche, correct?
Yes.
Well, I'm probably not going to cause an avalanche. What would the people outside be doing? Just kind of keeping an eye on the outside world?
Yeah. You can keep an eye on what's going on outside. You watch Sawyer start floating around, try to find stuff. It starts to rain really hard.
Like unnaturally hard?
No. I don't think there is such a thing.
Okay, that's
Rain was unnatural.
like a natural disaster.
The wind begins to whip.
Shoot. That can't be good. You know what comes with rain? Flooding in caves.
Coal. And Sawyer, Layla, and Mary Kate begin to watch the water level rise.
Hey, it's okay. They can turn into fish and stuff. I'm gonna get you guys.
They can. But can we get out of here? Mary Kate looks at the wall. I am not a climber.
I can try to float you guys.
Sawyer, I don't mean this to insult you, but I've known you forever. Your control is bad.
But would you rather climb?
Not right now. It's not dire right now, because the cave that you all went into is on the upper part of the cliff, and the cliff's fairly high up. So there's not imminent danger of flooding right now.
No, we're not into the water. That's so stupid.
Come on, you're practically gods.
No.
Oh, no. No, not that.
Not, yeah.
Turn into goldfish and jump off a cliff.
God.
Into a riptide? No thanks.
That was a reference to Critical Role. Anyway.
I didn't get
What's
that.
wrong? We're practically gods. Relax.
Oh my god. Layla, do you want to take... yeah, we should wait here. We don't want to... We want to make sure nothing exits this way, too.
You know,
Moving on.
And, like, the whole gravity thing comes to the tides.
the moon can pull the tides.
Yeah, that's the whole
We
thing.
can pull the water out.
That's, like, my whole thing.
You want to try?
No.
Yes.
That's a pretty big use of your ability.
Yeah.
On a
It's
scale
gonna be a give it all you got.
that would be, massive.
That
What,
would
to
be...
pull the water out of the cave?
That would be, stop holding back, right, Ashley?
Yeah, to control, to to basically try to break your abilities, to get them to do something that they do not naturally acclimate to. Or to turn your abilities up to 11, say, control the ocean's tides.
No, not control
Look,
the
Mary Kate,
tides going into the cave.
That would
It's not
that would
the
still
interface
be
yet.
a very powerful, and the cave is in the ceiling, so.
Mary Kate and, wait, what's Simon's character's name?
Layla.
Layla.
Yeah,
Look,
I know his
these-
character's name.
storms, tides are gonna rise high. I think we should get going now, before it's too dangerous, and we might not get up in time.
I'm down for not drowning.
Flash! A flash of lightning lights up the room momentarily. And with that flash and the rumbling roar of thunder that shakes the cave, we shift to the group continuing on. As you crawl the cave,
Can
Into the
Kate's
cave.
turn into a fish?
it starts to get smaller or a bit more, but not so much that a person wouldn't be able to crawl through. It'd just be really, really, really difficult. And then on ways out of that, it starts to widen again.
Okay.
And it splits off.
Into two ways?
One way, you can hear the rushing of water from, and the other is just silent.
Go down the silent path.
Do I see her go down the silent path?
How far behind are you?
I wouldn't say much.
Okay, then you barely
Probably.
catch.
Okay.
I'd say you barely catch what path Adalaie goes down. Mostly because Cade's is bright and a couple feet behind her.
Okay.
So you're actually catching what path Cade's goes down, but you assume he's following her.
And then I'm gonna follow Cave because the only reason I went down here is to
What if
help
they
Adalaie.
never investigate this?
And the decision has been made! You guys continue to creep down. And you, for a moment, think you hear something. Footsteps echoing off. They're running fast-paced. Somewhere ahead of you.
Not room to fly.
Yeah, you can start flying. Yeah, leaving Cade's. I'm a butterfly, not a bird!
Grab the
Get on
link.
my back!
Ah! Grabbing on for dear life.
Yep.
As you guys speed through this cavern, an amalgamation of different creatures, because you're a bird, but you're also like giving yourself night vision so you can see, veering through these passageways, trying to catch up to the footsteps. And Adalaie, you're in front, so you're the first person to see it. The swoosh of that same cloak as it turns a corner. Splashing in a puddle is drip, 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 drip. Drip of water begins to cascade from the ceiling.
I already know Adelaide's going after this person.
So expert flight maneuver, you guys turn this sharp corner.
Oh god.
And you get a better look at a tall man, probably, but in a big cloak, it's hard to tell. Wearing boots of some sort. The hood of the cloak has been pulled down in the running. Has sort of longer hair. held in a loose ponytail. You can catch the end of on the back of his neck. As he turns another corner, you start to get it. You start to see the makings of some sort of intricate tattoo, perhaps looking in the shape of a bird.
How ironic.
But as he turns the corner, you get a look at very human eyes as he sees you chasing him. Keeps running around the corner. You guys continue to follow?
Nope. Do I hear footsteps after he turns the corner?
Yep. He's still running. You can hear breathing.
Okay, then I turn the corner as well.
Okay. You see him.
I want to stop. And take caution on this one.
Well then, Jasper speeds ahead of you as you start to slow down, back off. You turn the corner, you see this guy run another passageway, like he has these caverns memorized. They're starting to get thinner again.
Adalaie, come on.
Start up again and catch up with Jasper.
Every time this person turns the corner, it'll make sure I keep hearing their footsteps running before I turn the corner as well.
Okay, so you pause every time they turn a corner?
I mean, like, eventually there's enough distance where they turn the corner, I keep trying, they hear the footsteps just as I get to the corner. Eventually, right?
I don't think that's how bird ears work.
But Jasper is a bird that is his own imagination.
Exactly.
Adalaie's speeding through. She's not gonna wait for some footsteps to be heard.
Okay, but if Jasper, you're waiting every time, he's moving pretty quickly and definitely knows the caverns much better than you. So sometimes there are caverns that keep going straight and he turns like at the last second. So if you're pausing, then he's starting to make some ground, even when you're flying.
Once he makes enough ground, then I'm gonna stop pausing and get closer. I just don't want him to stop around a corner, reach out and grab us.
Okay.
Oh, I gave her an idea.
And you turn one corner. You race after him. What are you guys planning here? What's up?
Talk to them. Kiss them.
Confront.
Why
So
are
I
they
confront 'em.
human? Confront. I'm just trying to keep Adalaie safe.
You're sweet.
You guys
Going
keep
alone
racing
is not
forward.
a good idea.
As you turn another corner, who turns it first?
Me. Probably.
Okay.
'cause Jasper's
Adalaie. Roll me a face danger.
sweet. Okay.
Knew
Physical.
Knew this was coming.
This is why I was pausing.
Come on, internet. 11! Woo!
Okay. You manage to veer out of the way as you fly past, and there's this flash of light as you trigger like a trap of some sort. But
What?
boulders begin to pile in. The cave begins to shake. The passage behind you being cut off.
No.
You want
I
to
have
keep
try to get
following?
through.
It'd be face danger to follow. You're fighting boulders.
You know what? Since I can't go back, might as well.
I want to follow.
I'd have to roll again.
7.
No, this is for Jasper.
Okay.
7. Let's see what I can add. Shape-shifting. I'm small enough I can dodge boulders and stuff. A wealth of information. I can predict where the boulders are going to land. That's 39. And a little bit of everything. 10.
Give me a second.
Oh god.
What tags did she use?
Shapeshifting, a wealth of information, and a little bit of everything.
Okay. You speed through.
Nice.
Kate's clutching on for dear life.
Yep.
This is the stupidest thing I've ever done.
I can agree.
You guys, are you making so your bird can talk?
I squawk at him. And nod my
But
head.
Kate's is yelling out as a person voice. You see the figures are turning a corner, their expression like goes like, wait, what?
Just all the birds didn't even sit there.
People!
The butterfly. The birds don't talk, but the butterfly.
The butterfly!
Butterfly.
Is it even enough of a start, the person in front for us to catch up?
I think he hears, like, kids talking, and he will, like, pause and then stop running. He'll be like, oh. And, like, turn around. Like, why am I running? If these are things I can negotiate with, why am I running?
Do we eventually run back into them?
Yeah, he just stops and turns around and, like, looks at you.
Adalaie gets on one side, I get on the other.
Yes,
And
we're
then we
actual
turn back.
people. This is the
You
only
guys-
way. we can get
If you're in an animal, you have to turn back to talk.
I turn back.
That's how shapeshifting works. You become an animal.
Yeah, I've talked with dragon. As a dragon,
A dragon, canonically, can already talk.
I have talked as a bird before too.
Why?
The cave, because he was coming up to comfort me after I rushed off from the fight with Maddie.
No, you were human.
No, I was a bird
I
flying.
know you flew. Gave yourself vocal cords, then you didn't this time.
Damn it.
I turned back to humanish.
You're like, well, that's new.
Adalie's gonna do the same.
You know, I thought we were the only humans here. Apparently we were wrong.
This point, I wouldn't consider us humans anymore. That's on you.
Yeah, human? I've never met a human that can do that.
Human-ish.
I'll take that. Human adjacent.
Yes.
Is there any reason you were chasing me?
You ran past us, you're human here. You are, by definition, a suspicious person.
Ouch.
Well, to be fair, we've had a bunch of run-ins with people working around us, so it's kind of a something.
Yes, it's almost as if the world doesn't revolve around you.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was harsh. I'm already in a bad mood, and now I'm gonna have to walk back the long way because I cut off the entrance because I thought you were. Doesn't matter, but.
You thought we were what?
And now I'm gonna have to walk through the rain!
You thought we were what?
Enemies, first off.
Why did you immediately assume we were enemies?
Why did you immediately assume I was a suspicious person? And an enemy that you were chasing after very aggressively?
We weren't assuming you're an
For
enemy. We were
starters,
only
you were kind of
assuming-
spying on us, from what I can figure.
You were standing in a public place.
And you rushed past where no one else was.
And I walked into my cave
Can I
and then
investigation
realized
check?
I was being chased.
Can I investigation check to Serena?
Sure.
7 again. Plus a wealth of information, plus a little bit of everything, plus organized thinking. Easy. Oh, I also want to add, see what they try to hide. That's 4, because that one's a 6.
Okay, so you have 4 questions.
Why are you living on the outskirts of this city?
Living is a very strong word.
Surviving, I think, is the word she's looking for.
Surviving is a little too powerful. I was gonna go with traipsing through.
Why did you refer to it as your cave?
Plotting.
This is the cave I've been staying in.
You know it awfully well.
Well, yes, I've been here a day. Spent time learning it.
A
Well, more than a day. A while. A fair bit of time. But, like,
how much?
specifically this cave, a day and a half.
Okay. So why? That was my first question.
Well, besides the fact that I am a traveler that likes to go everywhere, regardless of rules. Rules are made to be broken, destroyed, shattered. Whatever. Trespassing's a rule.
Technically, the law, not a rule.
Laws, rules, synonyms.
Besides, you
Was
didn't
there
finish?
another thing?
Mhm.
Oh, so forgetful. Yes. Here, to pick something up.
What are you here to pick up?
Second question.
Second question, yeah.
Well, I already got it, technically. I'm on my way out. And he will reach into a bag at his side, and he'll pull out a very ornate-looking dagger. Fancy piece of history here.
Yeah.
It's lined and edged in blue heart, very intricately. Whereas most blue heart weapons are like scraggly gems on the blade, this one is like melted into it.
Oh, interesting.
Care to say what history?
Oh, apparently it was used to slay an Orica.
Oh,
Oh,
It's super neat, and I know just the place that it's gonna go.
into another Orcar.
I mean, if there is one, ideally, yes. But I was actually gonna say a museum, but I mean that works too.
it should be in a museum.
Oh, you work for a museum.
I work for a lot of places.
Can I call
Some
you
of those places are museums.
Since we don't know your name, I'm gonna call you Indy right now.
You're gonna call him what?
Indy.
Indiana Jones. Ah!
Okay.
Oh, well, it's polite to introduce yourself first.
Hold on.
Call me Adalaie.
Nice to meet you,
can call me
Adalaie.
Jazz.
Nice to meet you. Jazz? Jazz.
Jazz.
And who's your talking butterfly? A familiar, I'd think.
He is a friend. Not
What
a-
talking butterfly? There is no talking butterfly here. I'm a moth, clearly.
This is a friend of ours.
Well, hi. You also clearly are not supposed to be here. Lovely to meet another trespasser.
Where did you get this dagger from?
This, in particular,
Yeah.
in some rusty old vault in the city. paid for it. Thank you very much. I'm not a thief most of the time.
Most of the time. Balls. That's not a question. That's just a...
Yeah, some noble family. God, what was that name? It was long and complicated, like most noble family names. You'd think they'd learn to shorten them.
Yeah, then they won't be as pretentious.
I know. Torsetta, I think it was.
So, which family was it? Polsetta?
Torsetta.
Interesting, I think I've heard that before. Make us go back through my notes, the case.
Maybe from a district that we haven't seen yet. Must be from a district that we haven't seen yet.
Oh, I mean, it's not like it was on display for the public. It was
no.
rotting
We just
inside a
haven't-
dusty old vault
We just haven't heard the name before. So we
in
don't
a city manor. I don't know. I didn't stick around long enough to learn Bellinarian politics. I knew they had the dagger. I asked them if they were willing to trade for the dagger. They said yes. They didn't get me arrested. That's the important part of this story. I paid for the dagger quite handsomely. Ouch, my wallet hurts. Luckily, it wasn't
Oh
really
my
my
God,
wallet.
that's
It was the
the
museum's, but
fiancé.
still.
That's the fiancé family.
And I got this nice little piece of history for my trouble.
You said you traded for it.
Yes. In a large amount of gold. And gems.
Not exactly what.
Adalaie's just gonna burst out laughing here.
I have one more question. I have something I want to use it on, but I don't think it's a good idea.
Oh. You're the one. All right. I see ya.
Did it. Kid? I'm lost.
Is your friend okay?
I don't think so. Adalaie
You're the one.
is the one who.
The chosen one? Am I the chosen one?
Not well, coming from an old lady, maybe, but no, but you're the troublemaker.
I guess I am technically, by definition, a
No,
troublemaker.
You are the troublemaker of this particular case on which I'm speaking.
The?
Oh.
Oh yeah,
Adalaie.
that's very specific.
Question: how long ago was the GM? How long ago was the robbery of it? Like exactly? Did you figure that out during the case?
I think it was 6 months, yeah.
No,
It was
it was a month ago.
Oh.
exactly, or a few days, a month.
A little off. That was the time that Zero had given you.
Mm.
It was probably rounded. Saying a month and a day, or less than a month, in that it was like 3 weeks and a day.
Let me guess, you've been here for a month. In this area, of course.
I mean, I've been here for a week, which is almost a month if you squint.
Only a week though.
Well, technically a week and a day, but the first day was spent figuring out how to get into the city, so I don't know if that counts.
Okay. I want to ask if he's lying.
You don't have to do that. Adalaie already has her cane out.
You gonna poke
Okay.
this guy with the stick of
I'm
truth?
good with that.
He's gonna sort of poke him playfully, but he won't know.
You try to reach out to poke him with the cane?
Yes.
Yeah.
He grabs your wrist and stops it right before it touches him. Please don't do that.
Is he touching the cane? Maybe?
He has gloves on.
Yes.
Am I safe to let this go, or am I gonna have to, like, hold this the whole rest of the conversation?
I mean, you can try to hold the hand. You can try.
He, like, keeps his arm on it so it's held in position and takes a couple steps back, lets go of it, and takes a couple more steps back. So if you tried to stab at it, it'd be an obvious jab motion. And he already seemed to have really fast reflexes. I don't like to be poked by unfamiliar objects. Unfortunate, but when you live in a world, specifically Andrathis.
You're from there?
Yes, land of parties. Come hit us up sometime if you ever want a drink. Seriously, ever in Bellenarin, crappy alcohol. Just saying, they do not do canderized wine the justice it deserves.
And one more question.
Well, now you can ask the truth.
Do you know anything about the disappearance of the crown that is not already public knowledge?
Raises an eyebrow. Which crown?
Don't.
Oh, I heard about that whole thing circulating.
You haven't answered my question.
Yeah, it was like this big deal when I first came into the city. Kind of pittered off after that because they made a big arrest. The other prince. Such a
I
dramatic
thought you
turnabout.
were here just a week ago.
Yeah, they made the arrest last week.
Did they actually?
I don't think you would know the exact time. This is big news. Whole thing. The Queen came out and made like a sorrowful public statement. Big deal.
I could have sworn that it was a month. It happened at a specific time, and then a week of investigation, and then immediately the rest afterwards, which wouldn't have been just a week ago.
I've only been here a week, and I heard about the arrest a week ago, so something about that timeline's off.
And you don't know anything about any other details at all?
Are you seriously inquisiting this man?
Yes.
I feel personally attacked on multiple levels. One, because he tried to poke me with a very sharp stick, but like has a pointed end.
It's pretty dull.
It looks pointy.
Stick. It's a walking
And one way to find out if it is pointy, stab him with it.
I want to find out if it is.
No, not really. Not interested. I won't argue the point. But there is a point.
Boo!
I live to entertain.
Alright.
Perhaps we should get out of the cave, before they flood.
Yeah, do you want like a guide to the exit?
Yes.
Sweet. This way. He begins to
Adalaie?
lead you away as we pull back to get a better look at the dove tattoo on this man's neck.
These guys. The messengers.
And we pass by sort of where we zoom back out of the cave, where we go into the second passageway that you guys veered past, to the end of this river of water, where it sections off, juts off. There's a high sort of crack in the cave wall. Fit in is a little satchel. And inside that satchel is a golden crown with a red ruby on the top in the form of a full shining sun. With that,
At least he didn't answer that question seriously, honestly, and it was one of the 4 questions.
We pull away. Back to another place on Althara, back to the forest, where the remaining group of Kingmakers is there. Eric was by himself. Austin had gone to scrounge up some food, and Sylvia was out cold in the throes of a larger vision. The inconvenience of abilities, he supposed. So, he sat by the fire, playing around with his abilities and just practicing. Throwing pebbles at a roughly carved bullseye high in the tree. It had almost been 2 months. 8 weeks stuck here, leaving friends and family to worry and fret, as they roamed around a forest, trying to uncover a conspiracy, working with someone who is basically the Altharan boogeyman, because Melody doesn't believe in bad guys. It certainly wasn't ideal. And that wasn't even getting into what the others were probably up to. It was some time into his scowl-filled rumination that Sylvia gave a sudden gasp and shot up, eyes flicking left and right in full panic mode. "You back from Silverland, Sil? Futureland, Sil?" She didn't respond. "Sil?" Eric looked over. She was heaving in deep breaths, clenching and unclenching her fists, her eyes fixed into a watery glare. She stood abruptly, spinning around and punching a tree. Hard. Eric stood and walked over. "Sil, are you okay? What's wrong?" Her knuckles bloody, she looked him in the eyes. If Eric were anyone else, he would have backed up. He had never seen Il angry before, much less this raw, untamed fury. "We are leaving this forest tomorrow." Her tone brokered no room for argument. "Can I ask why?" "Gods, where's Austin when you need him?" "Jamie's in trouble." Jamie. Shit! Kingmaker, powerful rift, it's Sylvia's best friend! Eric was not the person to be calming someone on actual warpath down. "Do we have time to regroup with the others?" Sylvia shook her head. "Mercedes, Melody, and Austin should stay here and stick to the plan. I can get our answers from the saplings, and then we need to go." There was a crackling sound behind as all the trees began to bend under Sylvia's anger. Oh, double shit. She wasn't just mad. This was the "I have a plan" type of mad. A plan that apparently involved him. Cold fury is a lot worse than hot rage. Okay, but we, and by that I mean me and the others, are gonna need the details. We can't just walk out because of cryptic stuff. Sylvia's face was grim and spoke a million words as she nodded and slowly sank back down. You hope he de-escalated this until Austin got back. This was so not up his alleyway. And with that, episode 29 of Kingmakers Expand comes to a close. I've been your MC, and we will see you all next time.